Nancy Manda here. I went to the bookstore with my grandmother, and we took some of our old books that we don't read anymore. I'm a huge reader, so I have lots and lots and lots of books. I kept a whole bunch that I haven't read or that I just really, really, really enjoy. And we took them to our local bookstore. I think it's called the Mad Hatter, or the Hatter. It's a really nice used bookstore in my area. It's a really, I recommend them 100%. The lady that owns it, she is a sweetheart. So, as you can see, I have this huge pile over here of books, and I traded in so much more than this, and this is what I picked out, and I'm gonna we'll go through them and let you see what they are. Some of them you guys might think is a little weird. I thought maybe it would be interesting. Like, I don't just pick out books for no reason. I either pick them out for a gift, or I pick them out because I think I might enjoy them. And I'll tell you how much I paid for each book, which they're not bad. They're not bad price. Ooh, and I forgot one in my bedroom, but I don't. It's okay. So the first book is a book called Bloodlust: Portrait of a Serial Sex Killer, and it is a story of Dayton Leroy Rogers from Portland, Oregon. So I just, I tend to read the back of it and see if it looks interesting. Please lay down. Thank you. And this book was in the true crime section, and it was $3. It's just a small paperback, and it has some pictures in it, I guess. So, it won't be the first one I read, but hopefully I'll get there. Let's see. I found this up by the, manga and, comic books, and it's called Nightlight. It's a parody of Twilight, which I thought would be hilarious. I'll read you the back of the book, or the top part of the back of the book. It says, "About 3 things I was absolutely certain. First, Edward was most likely my soulmate. Maybe. Second, there was a vampire part of him, which I assumed was wildly out of his control, that wanted me dead. And third, I unconditionally, irrevocably, impenetrably, heterogeneously, gynecologically, and disreputably wished he had kissed me." So, this is, I think, written by, I think that means the Harvard Lampoon wrote it, or produced it, or, yeah. And this book was $4. It's just a paperback book. I actually might start reading this one a little sooner rather than later. There are a lot of books from the same author that I got, and most of them are not from the same series, because he has a few different series of books. But I did get, I think this one is the 3rd book in the Ender series. One of my favorite authors is Orson Scott Card, and this one is Xenocide, and it's definitely in the Ender series. I think it's second or third. I think it's third because I think Speaker for the Dead or Speaker of the Dead. I think it's one. I don't know. I think that's the second one. And this is science fiction. I'm not normally big on science fiction books, but this style, like the Ender's Game, is my all-time #1 favorite book. Might just be the child in me, but but I love that book. And I'm a huge fan of Orson Scott Card's writing style. I also, on my bookcase over here, have a copy of Songmaster, which I have not read yet either. So I have this, but this is something I bought previously, and I think I bought it at the same bookstore, I think. So then, so this one is in the Ender series. I think I had one more in the Ender. Okay, and then this is another Orson Scott Card book. This one was $2, so I paid $2 for this book. It's a nice sized book, you guys. It's a big old book. I mean, it's not that big, but this one is a hardback, obviously, and it is called Ender in Exile. So, Ender in Exile was another one that I got, and this one, since it's hardback, it's missing the paper cover, which I don't really mind so much, because you can, when you put it on your bookcase, you can still see the title here. But my closet is falling apart, you guys. It's so bad. If you hear things fall, that's what it is. It's my closet falling apart. Okay, so Ender in Exile, I believe, is the last book in the, maybe. At least that's it. That's how they have it set up in this book. This one is called Hidden Empire, and I think this is a standalone, or maybe part of the Empire series. Don't quote me on any of this. I think it's a standalone book, but it is called Hidden Empire. And this one did come with the sleeve, and it's in very, very good condition for being at a bookstore. And it doesn't smell like it has water damage. I did pick up 2 West Virginia books that do smell a little wonky, but I'll talk about them when we get to them. And this one was $6, so this one was a little bit on the higher side. It's probably one of that's the highest that they should get, is the $6. So, Hidden Empire. And of course it's the science fiction, because that's his genre. And then this one is from the Homecoming, the Homecoming series, and it is the 3rd book. It's called The Ships of Earth. And so that means before I even read these, I'm going to have to go and get the first 2 from this, because I'm weird about that, and I like to read things in order, because it messes me up. And yeah, this one has it's paper sleeve. It's in really good condition. The paper sleeve is a little discolored, but it's an older book, I think. So, and this one I paid $6 for as well. We have one more by Orson Scott Card, and this is volume 1 of Ladder Top. So, I believe he wrote this with his daughter? I thought that's what I read. Yeah. And reading the back of it, oh, sorry, that book was $4 at at the used bookstore. This one is a book, because I thought the name sounded interesting, called Among the Enemy, so that's what caught my attention first, and then I read the background, or the synopsis of the book, or whatever they call it, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of Ender's Game, and since I'm a fan of Ender's Game, I'm gonna be interested in books of the same genre subtype. So here, the population police are gaining more and more power, and illegal thirdborns are in increasing danger. Young Matthias finds himself caught in the crossfire between the population police and the rebels, and unwittingly ends up saving the life of a population police officer. So, and this is from the Shadow Children series, maybe? It might not be a series, but it's a series. It's called Among the Enemy, and then the Shadow Children books are also Among the Hidden, Among the Impostors, Among the Betrayed, Among the Barons, and Among the Brave. And this book was $5. Although I'm looking, and the original price $6.95, so I guess that's not much of a bargain, but hey, whatever. And I had two from the horror section, I believe. This one calls In Darkness It Dwells by Joseph Lonti. And I guess it's about a teenage filmmaker, and he has a hobby with stop motion photography, and he makes a demon puppet, I believe. So I thought that sounded pretty interesting. I like weird, creepy things like that. On this bookcase also, I have like a ton of Stephen King books. This bookstore didn't have very many Stephen King books, or at least ones that I didn't already have, or that I was interested in, so I didn't pick up any Stephen King books. And this book was $3. And then, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Dean Koontz, but every so often I can dig a Dean Koontz book. This one looked interesting to me. It's called False Memory. It's a fear more paralyzing than falling, more terrifying than absolute darkness, more horrifying than anything you can imagine. It's the one fear you cannot escape, no matter where you run, no matter where you hide. It's the fear of yourself. It's real. It can happen to you. And facing it can be more deadly. False memory. Fear for your mind. So, I'm hoping it's good. I mean, they have the synopsis on the inside, but, you know. The books that I enjoyed by him were his Frankenstein books. So, those ones I definitely recommend. And, yeah. And this one was also $3. I'm also a huge fan of, like, historical type books. So I got Elizabeth I, a novel, and then the author of which does not make sense to me, the author of the autobiography of Henry the fucking VIII, sorry, the author of the autobiography of Henry VIII, Margaret George. That doesn't make sense to me because you can't, unless you are Henry VIII, you cannot call it an autobiography, I thought. Like, maybe I'm dumb. It's cool. Whatever. But, this one is about Queen Elizabeth. I like her. I think she's interesting. And this one was $6. So, Leonardo, please stop. And then this one is more, it's just more fiction. Fiction-y. I don't think it's based off of a ton of facts. Because obviously Queen Elizabeth didn't have a daughter. But this one is called Queen Elizabeth's Daughter, Please Lay Down. And it's about Mistress Mary Shelton. Obviously these are probably real. This is probably a real person. But, you know, it tells the story about her. And this one was also $6. This, I actually had watched the series on Netflix, I believe, like 6 or 7 years ago. It's called The Pillars of the Earth, and it's by Ken Follett, and I wanted to give the book a read. And I found it, so I figured, why not? I do recommend watching the series. It's very good. I'm not super religious or anything, but I got into it. I was very, very into it because it's more about architecture, in my opinion. Like, my brain doesn't work well. I know what I mean. You guys don't know what I mean. So there you go. And then this one was $5. So I'm excited to give this one a read. And you guys are probably going to laugh at me for this one. I thought it looked funny. It's written by Celia Jaspers. And it is called How to Date a Japanese Idols. And not that I want to date a Japanese idol, okay? I have this thing for teen fiction. So, I'm pretty sure it's about an English teacher at a Japanese boarding school. And she takes her students to see pop stars, and then she gets hooked on the pop stars. And this is book 1 of the Tenshi series. I probably will not read any further than book 1. And this book was $6. The next book I got, it's not really a book. It's Mad Libs, the Doctor Who version of Mad Libs, and this one costed me $1. Okay, and then I got these as gifts, I believe. I'm sure I have some people watching that are fans of books as well. Please, if you have any recommendations, if you like any books that you think that I would enjoy, please leave a comment and tell me. I am always looking for something to just catch my attention to, you know, keep me entertained. Any recommendations, if you have any corrections or to anything that I have said, also leave that down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Have a beautiful day.